ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Mumukshupadi is a beautiful grantham presented to us by Prililokacharya out of his great compassion. Manavada Mamanigal has given a beautiful commentary for Mumukshupadi, very elaborate one, going into the depth of many important principles. We are now seeing the meanings for this beautiful Grantham. We have seen up to the 65th Sutram, that is, we have seen the meanings for Ukaram. We have seen the Ukarartham now. In Pranavam, there is Akara, Ukara, Makara. Akara indicates Bhagavan. Ukara indicates the emphasis. Makara indicates the Jivatma, or the collection of Jivatmas, all Jivatmas. There is also a hidden Chaturthi Vibhakti, the fourth case. Aya is hidden in Pranava. It should be along with Akara. So, put together, the whole Pranava says that all the Jivatmas are exclusively existing for Paramatma, Bhagavan. That Bhagavan is Sriman Narayana. So, this is the main meaning of Pranavam. And we are seeing the individual part by part meaning for Pranavam. We have seen Akaram along with the Lupta Chaturthi, and then we have seen Ukaram. Now, from the 66th Sutram, we will move on to Makaram, the word, the letter Ma, which indicates Jivatma. Let us see now the 66th Sutram. First, the introduction for 66th Sutram given by Manavada Mamanigal. After explaining Ukaram, which is the second Aksharam, Prililokacharya starts explaining the meaning of Makara, which is the Tritiya Aksharam, the third Aksharam, the third letter in Pranava, starting with Makaram. 66th Sutram. Makaram 25ஆம் அக்ஷரமாய் ஞான வாச்சியமாய் இருக்கையாலே ஆத்மாவை சொல்லுகிறது. So, the simple meaning for this particular sutram is Makara, being the 25th syllable in the alphabets, in the Sanskrita alphabet collection. It is the 25th alphabet, 25th syllable, and Jnanavachi, that is, it indicates the presence of knowledge, consciousness. Because of these two aspects, it identifies Atma. In the collection of syllables, the 25th letter is Ma. This Makara is also the 25th Tattvam. There are 26 Tattvams. 24 of them are Achit, matter. 25th Tattvam is Chit, Jivatma, and 26th Tattvam is Paramatma. Tattvam means entity, a real entity. So there are 24 entities in Achit, and these 24 entities are represented by the 24 letters in Sanskritam. 25th letter matches the 25th element, 25th entity, that is Jivatma, Makaram. And Makara also has the meaning that it has consciousness. And because Jivatma has consciousness, Makara identifies Jivatma. So this is how the relationship is established by Shastram based on the count of letters and each letter representing a particular entity, and based on Makara having the meaning that it has, the particular entity has knowledge and Jivatma has knowledge. So due to all these similarities, Atma is indicated by Makaram. So that is the simple meaning. Let us see Mamunigal's commentary. So he is first quoting a couple of pramanams. These are from Padma Puranam. Bhutani cha kavargena cha vargenondriyani cha tavargena tavargena jnana gandadayas tata manaha pakarena uvaktam fakerena tvahankriti bakarena bhakarena mahan prakriti uchyate atma tu sa makarena panchavishah prakirtitah. There is one pramanam here where it is equating all the syllables with equivalent entities. The 5 elements like the earth are hinted by the 5 letters ka, kha, ga, gha, na. The 5 physical organs are hinted by the 5 letters in the series of cha. The 5 sensory organs are hinted by the letters in the series of tha. The 5 elementary qualities like scent, etc. are hinted by the 5 letters in the series of tha. Pha hints at mind. Pha, ahankara. Bha refers to Mahan. Bha refers to nature. And finally the 25th entity is identifying Jivatma. That is Makara identifying Jivatma. So another such pramanam is given. Bhutani cha kavargena chavargena indriyani cha tavargena jnana gandadayas tata manah pakarena uktam pakarena tvahankritihi pakarena mahan prakriti uchyate atma tu samakarena panchavimshah prakirtita. This is the pramanam which we have seen now, where it is explained about all the 25 letters matching the 25 elements. So that establishes that the 25th letter Ma relates to Jivatma, which is highlighted by that letter, by its meaning, by its relationship to that particular entity. Then there is also the Dhatu meaning, that is etymology of Makara, which is Manajnane and Manoabodhane. So these two explain that Atma has knowledge, Atma is conscious, having wisdom. And then there is also Panchavimshoyam Purushaha, Panchavimsha Atma Bhavati. All of these also again go back to the 25th element being the Jivatma, 25th letter representing the Jivatma, and In the Yajur Ashtakam also, this is explained, the same thing is explained. And then there is Vijnanatma Purushaha. The knower is the Atma. Vijnatara Mare Kena Vijaniyat. This is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Here it is said that Jiva is the knower. Jivatma is the knower. So all of these pramanams from Shastram relate Makara to Jivatma, and they also indicate that Jivatma is conscious, having knowledge. So because of all of these reasons, Makaram relates to Jivatma. So that is 66th Sutram, which is fully explained using pramanams from Shastram and basic Sanskrita grammar. Now 67th Sutram. In the introduction, Mamunigal explains that now Atma here, Makara is in singular. How does that identify all the collection of Jivatmas? There is Nityatmas, there is Muktatmas, and then there is Baddhatmas. So how are all of these included in the single word or letter, Makara? That is explained using the next Sutram, in the next Sutram, that is 67th Sutram, by Pillalokacharya, by saying Idudan Samashti Vachakam. So 67th Sutram is Idudan Samashti Vachakam. Idudan means this is. So this here represents Makara. This Makara is a Samashti Vachakam. Samashti Vachakam means it is the letter or word which is representing the collection of all Atmas. Samashti means group. So it is not just saying that one Atma is servitor to Bhagavan. It is saying that all the Atmas are servitors or servants of Bhagavan. In the next Sutram, Mamnigal highlights in the introduction, how can Ekavachanam become Samashti Vachakam? Ekavachanam means a singular word. How can that mean something which is in plural? So here we are saying A, U, Ma. Makara is a singular word. Now how can Makara, a singular word, represent a collection of Atmas? That is the question. And for that, Pillalokacharya is answering in the 68th Sutram, Jatyeka Vachanam. So 68th Sutram is Jatyeka Vachanam. Jatyeka Vachanam means it is a particular word which represents the whole Jati. Jati means species. We relate to Jati in a different way, but in technical terms, Jati really represent a particular species, like Deva Jati, Manushya Jati, Mriga Jati, and then even in Mriga, let's say in animals, there is lions, there is tigers. So these are all called Jati. So when we say this particular Makara is Jatyeka Vachanam, that means it is representing the whole collection of Atmas. Here Atma is seen as a Jati, Paramatma is one Jati, Jivatma is one Jati. Here all the Jivatmas are put under the particular subheading, particular species, and they are all represented by this particular one word, which is Makara. For that, Mamnigal gives a beautiful explanation. A good example is given. When someone says his collection of crops, he will say, this is my paddy. No, when he says, this is my paddy, he says, this is the whole harvest which I have done. that is represented by the word paddy. Even though paddy is a singular word, it is representing one piece of crop. Yet, that when he says that this is my paddy, that means he is indicating the whole harvest, whole collection of his crops. Similarly, this particular makara is representing the whole collection of atmas. So even though the word is in singular, the word represents the plural collection of all the atmas. So idea is all of the atmas are servants to Bhagavan. So that is where we started with. Akara is Bhagavan, Ukara is emphasis and exclusivity, and then Makara is the collection of atmas. So we have come to that stage where we have understood that this Makara represents all of the atmas, and all of the atmas are servitors to Bhagavan. Now 69th Sutram. Mamnigal gives introduction here. There is a question. With this Makara, what state of Atma is explained? And that is answered by Pilyalokacharya in his 69th Sutram, starting with Ittal. 69th Sutram, Ittal, Atma Nyatavendru Dehatil Vyavriti Sollitrayittru. Simple meaning, Ittal. With this, that is, with this particular explanation, Atma Nyata Endru, that is, Atma is a knower. So saying this, there is the distinction between Atma and Deham, that is body. So the difference between Atma and Deham are explained. That particular difference is explained here by saying that Atma is a knower, because body is not a knower. Body is matter, it does not have consciousness, it does not have knowledge. Only Atma has knowledge and consciousness. By saying that Atma is represented by Makara, and Atma, this Makara represents the collection of all Atmas, by saying all of this, it is explained that this Atma is the knower and is different from the body. Let us see the commentary here of Mamnigal. So Mamnigal says here, that is being represented by the 25th Akshara, 25th letter, that is Makara, and having knowledge, having consciousness. This particular Makara, which is representing Jivatma, this Makara is the 25th letter, it has the meaning that it represents an object which has knowledge, entity which has knowledge, and that particular, by this particular explanations, this Atma which has Sheshatvam, which has servitude, is also having Jnanam. So that particular principle is identified here, highlighted here. And by saying that, it is established that the Atma is different from Deham, body, which is Achetanam, which is matter. So here also, Mamnigal is emphasizing the aspect here. The Atma which is having servitude is also having knowledge. So servitude is the primary characteristic, and then having knowledge is the secondary characteristic. Because for Atma, the servitude is most important. But by saying that Atma is having knowledge, it is also established that he is different from body, which is matter. So that is 69th 9th Sutram, and then 70th Sutram. Mamni gives a little bit elaborate introduction here. Here there is a question, that is, generally in the body there is the concept, there is the understanding, most of us, we all have Devoham, Manushoham, Stuloham, Grushoham. All of these are identified with the body, but they all have aham in it. All these words have aham in it. That is, Devoham, I am Deva. Manushoham, I am Manushya. Stuloham, I am having body, which is big. In this manner, we are identifying Atma with the body, because being a Deva is not the quality of Atma, it is really a quality of the body. Being a Manushya is also a quality of the body. But this Aham Buddhi, this concept of I, is often associated with the body, saying I am a man, I am a woman, I am fat, I am thin, I am celestial, I am human. In this manner, we relate body and Atma quite often. Knowing this, having such understanding, how can Atma be different from Deham? How can the Atma, who is indicated by Aham, I, how can that entity be different from Deham, which is body? So that is the question, and for that Pillai explains Dehatil Vyavruti Tattva Shekaratile Sonnom. So that is 70th Sutram. Dehatil Vyavruti Tattva Shekaratile Sonnom. So this difference between Atma and Deham was already explained by me in Tattva Shekaram. That is what Pillai is saying in this Sutram. He says that he has already explained the difference between Deham and Atma in detail in another Grantham, another Rahasya Grantham named Tattva Shekaram. This Tattva Shekaram is a beautiful Rahasya Grantham where many concepts are explained. Bhagavan's supremacy is wonderfully established in this particular Grantham. As part of this, the difference between Atma and Deham is also greatly explained in this particular Grantham. The same principle is explained in Tattvatrayam also in great manner, in a very detailed manner. So, Pillai is identifying that. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. That is, with the help of many reasons, the non-Chetana nature of Deham, that is, Deham not having consciousness, was established in Tattva Shekaram by highlighting the difference between Atma and Deham. In that Tattva Shekaram Prabandham, I have Pillai has explained in great detail. So go and see in that. That is the indication we get from this particular Sutram, says Mamnigal. So the concept here is, when we say I am this body, I am this mind, that is not a clear understanding, because we see that body is different from Atma. So how would we say generally? We will say, I have a body, I have a hand, I have a mind, I have intelligence, I have senses. So when we say anything as I have, that means that is different from us. Because, for example, even when the hand is cut off, the Atma can still survive. This Atma still exists. Even when one loses one's intelligence, one exists as an entity. Even when one loses his mind, when one loses his senses, even then the individual always exists, the Atma always exists. From that we can easily understand that whenever we say Aham, that is Atma. Whenever we say Idham, this, then that indicates something which is separate from Atma. And we commonly say, I am having this body, I am having mind, I am having this. This is similar to saying I am having a pen. Obviously the pen is different from us. Similarly, when I am saying I am having a body, that means the body is also different from I. So this concept is very, very easy to understand, but there are certain traps in it. We sometimes say, I am having an Atma in general discussion terms. So we cannot literally take that. So in this case, Mamnigal explains in Tattvatrayam, while giving commentary for Pillai-Lokacharya's Sutrams, he says, there is a possibility that this could be misunderstood, even though it is quite clear. It is very obvious for us when we say that I am having this body, it is very clear that we are different from the body. We can also see that the consciousness remains the same right from childhood till old age, until death. Even for someone who don't believe in life after death, even for such person, the body keeps changing from a toddler's body till an old person's body. But the Atma, the individual's identity is always the same, right from the baby stage till death stage. So even for a materialistic person who just believes in body, the individual identity is different from his body. So it is very, very easy to understand that body is different from soul. Yet we may get confused. In such cases, we have to go back to Shastram. We have to depend on what the Shastram says. Shastram says that body is different from Atma. So we have to accept that principle without challenging it. We can question and we can get clarification, but we cannot outright reject that principle. So that is the essence here, that the Atma is different from body, and this is very clearly explained in the Grantham Tattva Shekaram by Pillai-Lokacharya himself. So sometimes we need to go and look into that Grantham and learn that as well. So that is 70th Sutram. Then 71st Sutram. In this particular Sutram, there is a question, and Mamnigal is raising it in the introduction section. It would be apt if in the Pranavam the Makara comes first and then Aya comes next, because Makara indicates the nature of Jivatma and Aya indicates the servitude of Atma towards Bhagavan. So it would have been apt to go in that particular sequence. Why did Shastram do it in this manner? That is, Aya, U, Ma. Why did Pranava have first Aya, that is Sheshatvam, and then only Makaram, which is the abode of such Sheshatvam? The servitude rests on Jivatma. Jivatma is the servitor, so that quality of servitude rests on Jivatma, and the Jivatma will serve Paramatma, Bhagavan. Now, this being the case, Jivatma is the abode, he is the one who is having the servitude. Why didn't the Pranava first identify Jivatma and then his servitude? That is the question here. For that, Pillai-Lokacharya is explaining in this Sutram starting with Manatayum. That is the 71st Sutram, which has 3 sentences in this Sutram. 71st Sutram. மனத்தையும் ஒளியையும் கொண்டு பூவையும் ரத்னத்தையும் விரும்புமா போலே சேஷம் என்று ஆத்மாவை ஆதரிக்கிறது. அல்லாத போது உயிரினால் குறைவிலம் என்கிறபடியே தியாஜ்யம். அது தோன்ற சேஷத்துவத்தை சொல்லி பின்னை ஆத்மாவை சொல்லுகிறது. So very nice sutram. The Atma is desired because of the sheshatvam in it. That is the servitude in the Atma. Atma is desired because of having sheshatvam in it, in him. This is similar to desiring for flower due to its fragrance and desiring for a gem, precious stone due to its radiance. Without the radiance, the gemstone would not be of any worth. Without the fragrance, the flower would not be of any use, any worth. Hence, similarly, Atma is appreciated due to having sheshatvam, servitude towards Bhagavan. If that is not the case, when there is no sheshatvam, it can also be, Atma can also be given up, saying, as said in Uyirinal Kurevilam by Nammalvar. Nammalvar said, I don't care for the Atma. When there is no sheshatvam, when the Atma is of no use to Bhagavan, I don't care for that Jivatma, Atma. That is the second part. And the third part is, அது தோன்ற சேஷத்துவத்தை சொல்லி பின்னே ஆத்மாவை சொல்லுகிறது. Because of this reason, Pranavam, Shastram is explaining first Sheshatvam and then Jivatma. We have already seen the meaning for Aya, which is the word indicating Sheshatvam, servitude, and first that Aya is said and then only Atma is said. So this is the simple meaning for the 71st Sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. Someone likes Pushpam, flower, because it is the abode of fragrance. Someone likes a particular precious stone because it is the abode of radiance. It is only because of such qualities these objects are desired. If there is a flower which has no fragrance, then one will just throw it away. If there is a precious stone, but it does not have any fragrance, any radiance, any luster in it, then it will also be discarded. Similarly, Atma is desired only because of the servitude in the Atma towards Bhagavan. Without the servitude, Atma can be discarded, as said in Uyirinal Kurevilam. So Alvar is saying in this Padikam, that is Yeralum Virayonum, Disamuganam Tirumagalum, in this decade, Alvar is saying that he is not liking any of the entities, any of the objects which he is wearing. He is saying that he does not want any of them when they are not for the purpose of Bhagavan. For example, if we wear nice clothes, then that must be for the desire of Bhagavan. We should think that Bhagavan is going to see us. When he sees, we should be nicely dressed. So similarly, when we are wearing some ornaments, we should see it in the way that this is for the pleasure of Bhagavan. When he sees, we will be enjoyed by him with these nice ornaments. So a good example is Yashoda Mata. When she serves Krishna, whenever she comes to Krishna, she would always be dressed very beautifully, because she wants Krishna to look at her and always feel happy by the way she is dressing. So in this particular manner, when the particular servitude, Sheshatvam, is not there, then Atma is also not desired by us. We don't desire for the Atma as well. And it must be given up. Atma must be given up. So to highlight the greatness of such Sheshatvam, the interest, the involvement in such Sheshatvam, this Sheshatvam, that is Aya, is indicated first and then only Atma is indicated. So that is 71st Sutram. Now 72nd Sutram, 72nd and 73rd and 74th. All these three Sutrams give the summary meaning of Pranavam through some quotations from Purvacharya works, Alvar's works. Let us see 72nd Sutram first. This Pranavam, which has three words, explains a particular meaning. What is that meaning? That is explained in this 72nd Sutram, starting with Aga. Aga, Pranavatal, Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு அடியேன் ஒருவர் குறியேனோ என்கிறபடியே ஜீவபர சம்பந்தம் சொல்லிற்று. By Pranavam, the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma is explained. What is that relationship? That relationship was revealed by Tirumangai in Periya Tirumozhi. He says, Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு அடியேன் ஒருவர் குறியேனோ. One who is a servitor of the Lord of Tirukannapuram, such servitor, that is, am I subservient to anyone else? That is the question here. By Tirumangai, which is quoted by Pillai Lokacharya. So, by saying this Kannapuram ஒன்றுடையானுக்கு அடியேன் ஒருவர் குறியேனோ, by saying that, it is established that the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma is most important, and that particular relationship is explained here. That is Mamnigal's commentary. By all the sutrams we have seen so far, the meaning of Pranavam is explained with the help of Alvar's Pasuram, Kannapuram ஒன்றுடையானுக்கு அடியேன் ஒருவர் குறியேனோ. This is on Tirukannapuram Sauri Perumal. Tirumangai is saying to Emperuman that I am a servitor of the Lord of Tirukannapuram and no one else. I cannot be owned by anybody else. That is the meaning of this Pasuram from Periya Tirumozhi. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. In this, the Pranavam represents Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு. Pranavam is Akaram, Ukaram and Makaram. So that is related to Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு, the Lord of Tirukannapuram. That is the Akaram with Chaturthi, ending with Chaturthi. That is Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு. Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையான் is Akaram, Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, who is in Tirukannapuram. Udayanuku, that indicates Chaturthi Vibhakti, the fourth case, where it is said that he is existing for Bhagavan. That is Akaram with the Chaturthi, Lupta Chaturthi. That is explained in Kannapuram ஒன்று உடையானுக்கு. Adiyen represents the Makara, which is Jivatma, having servitude. So the meaning of Makaram is revealed in Adiyen. ஒருவர் குறியேனோ என்று Anyasheshatva Nivartaka, this Ukara, which is removing our dependency on others. Dependency on others must be removed, and that is done using this Ukaram, the letter U in Pranavam. So, by saying Kannapuram ஒன்றுடையானுக்கு அடியேன் ஒருவர் குறியேனோ, Tirumangai has explained the meaning of Pranavam. That is, Akaram is there, Ukaram is there, and Makaram is there. All three are explained in this by Tirumangai in his divine words. So he explains the Jiva Parasambandham, the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma. So that is 72nd Sutram. Next is 73rd Sutram. Another quote is given by Pillai. Let us see the introduction by Manavala Mamnigal. Further, with the help of Poigai Alvar's Divya Sukti, divine words, the concept of us doing service to Bhagavan and the recipient of such service being Bhagavan, and that Bhagavan is not an individual single person, but he is a couple. He is always present along with Sri Mahalakshmi, and that is explained in this particular 73rd Sutram. Ittal Tamarayal Kelvan என்று தொடங்கி, that is starting with Ittal Tamarayal Kelvan. Sutram Ittal Tamarayal Kelvan ஒருவனையே நோக்கும் உணர்வு என்றதாயிற்று. With this, that is with the meaning of Pranavam, it is said that Atma, who is got consciousness, and such Atma is always looking at the Lord of Sri Mahalakshmi, Bhagavan Sriman Narayanan. So that is the nature, true nature of Jivatma. Jivatma's knowledge will always look into Bhagavan who is with Sri Mahalakshmi. That is the simple meaning. Mamnigal's commentary. That is, now Mamnigal is explaining how this Pasuram directly relates to Pranavam. Similarly, like we have seen previously, Kannavaram Kuntudayanukku Adiyen, Oruvar Kuriyeno, we have seen that directly related to Pranavam. Here also the same relationship is shown. Tamarayal Kelvan is explaining his Shriyapaditvam. That is, Tamarayal Kelvan, which is represented by Akaram in Pranavam. That represents the Shriyapati, Bhagavan being the Lord of Sri Mahalakshmi, who receives all our services. That is established here. Oruvaneye Nokum, that is Chaturthi and Ukara, which are representative for Ananyarha Sheshatva. Ananyarha Sheshatva means accepting Bhagavan only as the Lord and doing service to him only. And where is that indicated? Chaturthi and Ukara. Chaturthi and Ukara both explain the exclusive servitude towards Bhagavan for Jivatma. So such Atmas exclusive dependence on Bhagavan, that is explained in Oruvaneye Nokum in Alvar's Pasuram, in Poigai Alvar's Pasuram. Oruvaneye Nokum means the Atma being exclusively surrendered and exclusively serving Bhagavan is that those are represented by Uruvaneye Nokum. And finally, Unarvu, Uruvaneye Nokum Unarvu is there in the Pasuram. Unarvu is highlighting the consciousness of Jivatma. Jivatma being an entity which has knowledge. So that is explained here, and finally in this manner Jiva Parasambandham, the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma, is also explained, because here it is said Tamarayal Kelvan Uruvanaye. Only Sri Mahalakshmi is looked up by Jivatma. It is one who has consciousness. So that is 73rd Sutram. 74th Sutram. Now another explanation is given for this pranavam based on the dhatu artham, that is etymology of the particular word. Previously the part by part meaning of pranavam was explained by Pillai Lokacharya. Now the collective meaning of pranavam based on another perspective is given by Pillai Lokacharya in the 74th sutram, starting with Akaratalum. So 74th sutram, Akaratalum Makaratalum Rakshakanayum Rakshyatayum Sollitru, Chaturthiyalum Ukaratalum Rakshana Hetuvana Praptiyayum Palatayum Sollitru. So here Pillai Lokacharya says Akaratalum Makaratalum Rakshakanayum Rakshyatayum Sollitru. That is, Akaram indicates Rakshaka. Rakshaka means protector. Akaram is representing Bhagavan. So Akaram indicates Bhagavan who is the protector. Makara indicates Rakshya. Rakshya means that which is protected. All the Jivatmas, they are all protected here. And that is represented by Makara. Chaturthiyalum Ukaratalum Rakshana Hetuvana Praptiyayum Palatayum Sollitru. Chaturthi represents Sheshatvam. This Sheshatvam is servitude. So that is the relationship. Jivatma and Paramatma has a Lord and servitor relationship. So that relationship is explained in Chaturthi, and Ukaram explains Phalam. Phalam here is the benefit, the gain which is derived by such relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma. That is, Jivatma being the servitor of the Paramatma. What is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is explained in Ukaram. That is, to be explicitly existing for Bhagavan's pleasure only. To be existing for Bhagavan only. So all of these are explained in this 74th sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. That is, Akaram is explaining Ishvara who is Rakshaka. Makaram is explaining the Jivatma who is protected by, who is saved by such Paramatma. Chaturthi explains the Sheshatvam, which is the apt servitude, which is proper for the Jivatma, and it is derived from Chaturthi. Chaturthi is Lupta Chaturthi, which is along with A, and Bhagavan is the protector, and he is protecting because we have the servitude towards him. We have the natural attachment towards him, hence he is protecting us. And Bhagavan protecting this particular Atma for the purpose of delivering the Atma and engaging the Atma fully in his own service, in Bhagavan's own service. That is the main purpose of Bhagavan delivering the Atmas. And because of that, because of such act, the Ukaram, that is, Ukaram which represents the Ananyarha Sheshatvam. Ukara, again we have to remember, Ukara emphasizes that Jivatma is a servitor to Paramatma, only Paramatma, and that emphasis is here also highlighted. That is because Bhagavan protects someone so that that particular protected person will act according to Bhagavan's wishes. So that is the main reason, and because of this the Chaturthi along with the Ukaram explaining the Prapti as well as Phalam, attainment of the goal. So That is 74th Sutram. Finally, Pililokacharya Mamnigal gives a short summary. Thus, the meaning of Pranavam, which is the explanation given by Pililokacharya, has come to an end up to this stage. Now, from now onwards, from 75th Sutram onwards, we will start seeing in detail about all of these letters, letters in the Tirumantram. We will see those in the next session. Alvar Emberumanar Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.